Hi, my name is Rob McLean, and we're Group 11. We discuss the topic of energy, the rise of oil, and impact of the internal combustion engine. The development and discovery of oil and the internal combustion engine has had a profound impact on society and will continue to do so in the future. Key considerations into the topic that we discuss include the discovery and development of oil and the internal combustion engine, the impacts on society, Indigenous perspectives and considerations into this topic, ethical and regulatory controversies regarding this topic, and future considerations, including the push for innovation for an oilless future.
Thanks for the introduction, Robin. My name's Gavin, and I'm going over the first topic of our essay, the discovery and development of petroleum. This topic includes the ancient uses of petroleum, then moves into early petroleum industry, and then finally covers the invention and popularization of the internal combustion engine. 50 to 70,000 years ago, hunter-gatherers used bitumen as an adhesive for repairing and crafting tools for waterproofing shelters. Around 2,000 years ago was the first account of oil drilling. A Chinese settlement was drilling for salt water when they accidentally found petroleum. They extracted it and refined it for use in households. The start of the oil and gas industry in the United States began in 1859 when the Pennsylvania Oil Rock Company was the first company to strike oil. The biggest player in the oil industry came along in 1870. His name was John D. Rockefeller. He revolutionized the oil and gas industry when him and his partners founded the Standard Oil Company, which controlled the majority of oil refineries and pipelines in the USA. They were able to hire top chemists that invented oil refinement technologies to create a cheaper and cleaner product. He set the foundation for the modern oil and gas industry. The version of the internal combustion engine used today was created by Nicholas Otto and colleagues in 1876. Within the next 20 years, the two men named Carl Benz and Henry Ford would build and commercialize an automobile that used the Otto engine, with Ford releasing the Model T in 1908, which transformed the transport industry by making the automobile more accessible. After overcoming the competition of the steam engine and the electric-powered vehicles, the internal combustion engine became and still is the most popular driver in automobiles today.
Thank you, Gavin, for the insightful overview of petroleum's discovery and development. My name is Kush Rishi, and I will now discuss the societal impacts of oil and internal combustion engines. Oil and ice technology revolutionized society, driving economic growth through industrialization and mass production. This transformation is exemplified by the Ford Model T assembly line and modern cargo ships, which revolutionized global trade. Technological advancements in automotive and aerospace engineering also stem from oil and ice. Infrastructures like highways, railways, and pipelines connect people and markets, fostering innovation in agriculture, healthcare, and communications. However, these benefits come at significant costs. Environmental damage, such as air pollution shown in the image, contribute to climate change, while oil spills devastate ecosystems. Public health suffers from emissions linked to respiratory and cardiovascular diseases, disproportionately affecting vulnerable populations. Economically, oil-dependent nations face instability with fluctuating prices, and transitioning to renewable energy is a challenge for fossil-based economies. While oil has driven progress, its environmental, health, and economic costs highlight the need for sustainable solutions. I will now pass the floor to Robin, who will discuss Indigenous perspectives and considerations.
The next topic to consider is Indigenous perspectives and considerations. In terms of impacts on society, the balance between economic and environmental sustainability has long since been a debate. A recent example of this is the Keystone XL pipeline, which is a connection between Canada and the USA. This was a pipeline to be built over traditional Indigenous land, which would lead to pollution in rivers, poor health of communities. This led to a nationwide push for more inclusive development and more considerations of Indigenous perspectives in economic developments on their land. Another impact of internal combustion engines is pollution on rural Canadian communities, specifically those up north who rely on ice roads for access to emergency vehicles and supplies during the winters. The changing ecosystem as a result of pollution has led to a decrease in this access and resulted in struggles for them during their winters. This has led to a fight for more environmental sustainability and more innovation regarding using less oil in cars and everyday life. The flip side of this is the economic advantages for Indigenous communities in terms of these projects being built on their land. These energy projects provide jobs and economic stability. As said by Dale Swampy, the president of National Coalition of Chiefs in Calgary, we're in favor of prosperity.
Now that we know about Indigenous perspectives, we will dive more into ethical, regulatory, and potential controversies. The ethical problems. Children under 5 are 90% more likely to get into diseases which are caused by global warming. Moreover, global warming causes droughts and floods, and these droughts and floods lead to destroyed crops and less clean water for everyone in general. Moreover, using oil up early causes a lack of oil for future generations, which can lead to global energy shortages. To prevent these ethical problems from further developing, there are regulatory mandates. The first regulatory mandate is by 2036, the Canadian government wants all automakers to reach 100% zero-emission vehicle sale. A zero-emission vehicle is a vehicle that doesn't produce emissions through its tailpipe. Moreover, new consumers of new electrical vehicles get a 5,000 incentive, further boosting the electrical vehicle purchase rate. Some potential controversies. Are electric vehicles truly more efficient than ICEs? Yes, they are. However, creating electrical vehicles is less environmentally efficient than ICEs, but throughout the course of the lifetime, electrical vehicles are 3 times more efficient than ICEs. Why are automakers reluctant to switch from ICEs to electrical vehicles? Companies like Toyota are reluctant to switch because they're already used to creating ICE vehicles, gaining a lot of profit from that. And they see the lack of infrastructure in electrical vehicles, therefore reluctant to switch.
Thank you, Hamza. My name is Shafait, and I'm going to talk about future considerations. First of all, we have to address the key challenges and trends happening worldwide, which is the transition from fossil fuels to clean and renewable energy. This is happening to declining fossil fuel reserves around the world, stricter climate change policies, and government regulations. One of the most important things to consider is the impact of electric vehicles. More and more people are buying EV due to their longer battery life, range, and faster charging. For example, on a full battery 5 years ago, if an EV had 250 miles range, now it is 500 miles. Also, advanced AI software has been built in them, which enables them to drive by themselves, which is a huge bonus for lots of people. Also, people are buying electric vehicles because of European Union's goal to end the manufacture and sale of ICE vehicles by the year 2035. We also found some alternative fuels for gasoline. These synthetic and biofuels can be created from organic compounds such as ethanol and hydrogen. It is found in a study that these engines run by ethanol emit 85% fewer greenhouse gases compared to uh, engines run by gasoline. Now we all know oil extraction and combustion is one of the major reasons for global warming, which is why the United Nations signed a Paris Agreement in the year 2015. This agreement refers to the reduction of greenhouse gases by each of the respective countries. So we can say that oil's dominance is likely to decline in the future. To finally conclude, we can say that oil and internal combustion engine shaped our modern society but caused environmental degradation and public health issues. On the indigenous side, we have to give economic opportunity to the indigenous people, as well as we have to be responsible for the environment so that their and our future generations can thrive. And finally, government and all companies have to collaborate to address the risks. The government can also increase incentives for EV adoption. And finally, strategic planning by governments, industries, and societies are needed for a sustainable future. That concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching.